ma, 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 ma. I don't speak Chinese, but I just said 4 words in Chinese. I said something about mother, plant hemp, and the horse, and a verb to yell. So this language, Mandarin Chinese, is a tonal language. So as a non-native speaker of tonal language, Mandarin Chinese is very, very fascinating to me because of its musicality. Even though I just said those 4 words, I feel like I was singing. And in fact, when we talk about Mandarin Chinese, we use the same idiom of musical language, like pitch, register, tempo, and things like that. But what is even more fascinating about Mandarin Chinese is that if you sing in Mandarin, this musicality just disappears. It's inaudible. I was like, wow, how is that possible? But that's how it is. So then this gives us an opportunity to ask a question. So for my team, with Benjamin Fuhrman, who is not here, we are like, would it be possible to create music using solely the 4 main tones in Mandarin? What would that sound like? It has never existed before. But to create this particular piece of music isn't just to satisfy our curiosity. We need to have this project carried out because it will create a new kind of music, a new kind of sonic experience that is only possible in the 21st century. And furthermore, it will be a new exploration into the space between music and language. So our projected outcome is an experimental music of 5 minutes digitally processed. So I asked Ben. Ben is, by the way, is a computer music composer who is also sound engineer as well as a serious hardcore coder. So he can deal with all the technical aspect of this project. And the 2-step process is involved. First is creating a database, and then creating music with a database. And we already have a database. Our team, in collaboration with MSU's wonderful digital humanities library team, we created this Mandarin audio database at MSU, and you can check it out. And this is, by the way, open source. This particular database contains 9,840 audio assets, comprised of 410 sounds, 3 female speakers, and 3 male speakers. And to create this, we use Reaper as a digital audio station for large batching processing because it involves lots of audio assets, and then normalization. So I'm just going to give you a quick view. This is like initial recording. It was recorded in a recording studio, but once it's processed and normalized, you can see that they are all uniform. But we did not lose, this particular aspect of each tone produced by each speaker. And then the next process is to use this database to create music. And to do that, there are 2 approaches. We could have used traditional sampler, but we used modern approaches. So what does modern approach look like? So we use Falcon, particularly for granulation and extreme time stretching. So what we are trying to do is using all the audio assets, they're housed in the audio database, and make individual sound into a new instrument. So we'll have an orchestra of instruments that is comprised of sounds. So 410 sounds in 4 tones. And then we will permutate each syllable per gender so that it can function as an instrument. So it's like you're playing the instrument, and we have a ton of them. So all this audio assets are pitch controlled, and then when you fuse the multiple streams of samples, that's how you can create particular textural effects, and you can create rhythmic effects, and you can do what you would normally do with a musical instrument. And so what is interesting is, when you just stretch things, that's interesting by itself, but when you actually create a piece of music with it, then musical character emerges, and that's where it becomes really exciting. So, these terms are really foreign to me because I'm not a music specialist, but those of you who are specialists, you can appreciate what this says here. So, you play on a sampler, then it generates pitch content, and time stretched, then it produces textual and rhythmic effect, and then when you run an envelope follower, then you could also have rhythmic aspects of another source sound. And so for us, since there's so many sounds, we wanted to focus on particular sounds and use the rest as a backdrop. And so I chose a word for I, 我, and I for love, and 你 for you. So that when we create this music, it's not just just sound, but it can also be a tonal reflection of the personal relationship between you and I, as it is captured in the tonal values of this particular work. So I don't know if we have time to play the sample. Let's see if it works. If not, you can catch me later. Oops, I don't know how it works here. Okay, let's see. This is just the, no, it doesn't work, so you have to catch me sometime later. Okay, so Tuning In, our project, is an exciting digital humanities project precisely because we are trying to bring the intersection, the area of intersection between language and music. At the same time, we want to see how emotional tones and linguistic tones can fuse together in one sound. And also, it helps us to see the spectrum between where speech begins and speech ends and sound begins. And most importantly, once it's done, we can also visualize by color coding a particular pitch or particular intensity so that you can experience this kind of music also synesthetically. That didn't come out very right. Okay, so you can also experience it musically and also visually. So that is our project. Thank you.